Today, I'm going to show you how to make a rustic Italian white bread called ciabatta. Ciabatta is a rustic Italian white bread with a flat, elongated shape that resembles a slipper. That's its Italian translation. Created in 1982 as an Italian alternative to French baguettes, it's known for its airy, chewy crumb and crispy crust. The high water to flour ratio gives ciabatta dough a wet, sticky consistency and its signature open crumb. The dough's long fermentation process and specific folding techniques contribute to its unique qualities. Ciabatta is flavorful, with a flour-streaked crusty exterior and extra chewy interior with soft, open air bubbles. Yeah! This classic Italian-style bread is made from just 4 ingredients. Making these ciabatta rolls is a 2-day process, but most of that time is spent waiting for natural fermentation to take place and time to rest and let the dough proof or rise before baking. We will use a pre-fermentation mixture called a Biga. Using a Biga adds complexity to the bread's flavor and is often used in breads that need a light, open texture with holes. Apart from adding to the flavor and texture, a Biga also helps to preserve the bread by making it less perishable. This simple, easy to make, rustic Italian bread is quickly becoming my favorite for sandwiches, dipping, and is the perfect complement for all your favorite cheeses and spreads. Ciabatta is also a great alternative to the French baguette, and it's a lot easier to make. Are you ready? Well then let's get started. In a large mixing bowl, whisk together the bread flour and yeast. Add the water and mix with a silicone spatula until combined. Cover the bowl tightly with plastic wrap and let it rest at room temperature for 8 to 24 hours. Uncover the bowl with the Biga. And in a separate large mixing bowl or the bowl of your stand mixer fitted with a dough hook attachment, whisk together the yeast and warm water. Cover and let sit for 5 to 10 minutes until the yeast has dissolved. Next, we're going to add the Biga, the flour, and the salt. Gently mix together with a silicone spatula or wooden spoon, or using the dough hook on medium speed. The dough will seem dry and shaggy at first, but keep working it until all the flour is moistened and the dough is uniform in texture. Now cover the bowl and let the dough rest for 30 minutes at room temperature. Okay, now that our dough's been resting for 30 minutes, it's time to do our first stretch and fold. I love doing stretch and folds. It adds strength to the dough, builds up the gluten a little bit. So we're going to take just a little bit of olive oil here and just loosen it up around the edges just a little bit first. And what I want to do is lift, pull it up, and drop it over. And this is really high hydration dough. We'll turn it 90 degrees, stretch and fold. 90 degrees, pull it up, pull it over. So we're pulling it from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And now we want to just take it and go around one more time. Just using a little bit of olive oil on my hand. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, this is the second time around, so that's 8 stretch and folds all together. And then we're going to let the baby rest for another 30 minutes covered. And we'll come back and we'll stretch and fold again. Just like that. Let's see what we've got. The first stretch and fold is done. 3 more to go. Here comes number 2. The second stretch and fold. Look at how much it's risen. That's beautiful. All right then, a little bit of olive oil to keep all this from sticking too much. It's getting nice and puffy now. It's getting some strength to it. 1, 2, 90-degree turn each time. So we go all the way around the clock from 12 to 6, 90 degrees, 12 o'clock, stretch, over to 6 o'clock. That's 4 stretch and folds, 4 more. Stretch and fold. Stretch and fold. Stretch. Oh yeah, nice tension. So it makes a beautiful bread. There we go. It's time to rest. Dough sure gets a lot of rest time. I want to reincarnate as dough. Maybe not, because dough ends up in the oven. Very generously flour your counter or work surface using lightly oiled hands or lightly oiled spatula. Scrape the dough out of the bowl and onto the floured surface. Generously sprinkle flour on the top of the dough. Using floured hands, gently stretch and shape the dough into a rough rectangle shape about 10 by 7 inches. Use a floured bench scraper, cut the dough into 8 pieces, roughly equal in size, each being around 2.5 to 3.5 inches. Lightly flour a piece of parchment paper. Lightly sprinkle flour over the rolls, then gently cover them with a clean kitchen towel or piece of parchment paper and let them rest for 1 hour. Meanwhile, position one oven rack in the very bottom position and another rack in the center or middle position. Place a flat cookie sheet or rimmed baking sheet on the center rack. Preheat the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit or 232 degrees Celsius. When ready to bake, scatter several cups of ice cubes in a large, shallow metal roasting pan or cast iron skillet or rimmed baking sheet, but don't use glass. Uncover the rolls and lightly flick them with a little water. This will add more steam. Working quickly, carefully remove the preheated cooking baking sheet from the oven and slide your parchment paper and proofed bread onto it. Place it back in the oven and slide the pan with the ice cubes onto the bottom rack of the oven and quickly close the oven door, trapping the steam from the melting ice inside. Bake for 20 to 22 minutes until the rolls are golden brown. And there you have it. Goodness in every bake. Do please click the thumbs up like button and subscribe to my channel for lots more yummy and delicious treats for you to enjoy and share. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.